Paying to host a podcast is cheaper than therapy, so I'm going to keep talking about my dating life. Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick, and first we'll pause for a little station identification. This is the Buffalo Bills Radio Network. No, this is obviously 10 Minutes with Nick. I'm Nick. That's pretty much the identification. We do have subscribers. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. It means a lot that you actually take the time to listen to my nonsense. And it is my nonsense, for sure. It is 100%. These are 10-minute rambles. I do not prepare them. I look at a topic and I go with it. I have no idea if there is anything to enjoy, anything useful being said. I do not review the tape. I just keep on going. I avoid topics generally that I think will make people not so much upset as will make people. I try to avoid the controversial topics only because this is not the forum. I'm not providing nuance, I'm not providing context, I'm not offering a chance for both sides to come at the issue. So those issues I try to avoid. Generally, I talk about things that not only aren't controversial, but typically only involve making fun of myself. It's easy to do. I'm deprecating. I used to think that was self-depreciating. It means the same thing. Gets the same job done. Anyways, thank you for subscribing. I'm cracked out on 4 cups of caffeine. Let's get this thing started. Okay. So, as I opened up, I talk about my dating life on this podcast. Why? Cheaper than therapy. I'm in therapy anyway, but that's for other reasons. I don't have to talk about my dating life in therapy. I just spew it onto the internet. And when you live by yourself, you don't get to talk out loud a lot. You don't get to say a lot into the air. I do because I'm a crazy person. But generally speaking, you spend multiple hours every week by yourself. And so you kind of get things stuck in your head and they go on an endless loop. They sit on you. They cause stress. You underestimate the value of having a conversation in alleviating stress and the value of somebody who, I have friends like this who, and I try to be a friend like this, people who will just listen to the problem. The thing with problems is that if they sit on you too long, they sit like right here in your chest. No, I'm not about to have a heart attack, but they sit right here in your chest and they settle. And when they settle there, it tightens. Not tightens like a heart attack, it tightens emotionally. And it's relieved by sharing. Human beings were designed for communion. It's why, and I don't mean the sacrament of communion, although we were also designed for that if you follow my faith, which is Christianity. Human beings, in many ways, were designed for community with each other. It is why the Bible specifically says, yeah, worshiping by yourself is great, but you're also, you need to get with other believers because, you need each other. Get with each other. Not get busy with each other, though I am talking about dating. We're mixing our metaphors here, guys. I'm mixing my own metaphors. It's just me talking. Okay. That was disgusting. I am so sorry. That was directly into the microphone. Anyways, 4 cups of coffee. What are you going to do? Anyways, when you sit by yourself, the things pile up on your head. This is especially hard because, for one, I don't want roommates, but 2, when you're actively dating, it is very difficult to do it by yourself and not have anybody to kind of break things down a little bit with. Not every friend is a date breakdown friend. Not every friend is. Be careful with that. They're not bad friends because they can't break down a date with you. They're just not right for that situation. Every friend excels in certain areas. You have different friends who excel in different areas, really to complement your own weaknesses. That's the goal. You should not have, you have friends who are exactly like you, and that's great. You have friends who also shore up some of your weaknesses, and in turn, you shore up theirs. You may be the useless friend, but the useless friend makes you feel better about yourself. So you're helping, useless friend, whoever you are. Or I'm your useless friend and I'm helping you. So you're welcome. Anyways. Rules on dating will make you go crazy. It'll drive you nuts. You'll start to think to yourself, how do I handle this? How do I navigate this? You literally, none of it matters. It doesn't matter. Don't care about them. Let them go. Why? Because they will drive you crazy. For example, You have a date with somebody, it goes well, the 3-day rule. I don't know what that means. It's not a hard and fast 72-hour rule. Like, it just means don't leave the date and immediately blow them up, right? That's a good rule of thumb. Like, don't obsessively text someone after a date. Like, be cool, be interested, but be cool. Like, and the thing is, you don't want to blow up anybody obsessively, right? Sometimes people got to do stuff, okay? People have lives. And if you've been on one date with someone, their life does not involve you at all yet. They've met you. That's it. Their life does not involve you. Frankly, your life does not involve them, even though it may feel like it does. Another point to that. Dating is a really good exercise in training your mind to not be what I'm going to call object focused. I'm calling it that. There's other actual language for it, but what I mean by object focused is you see the shiny object and you're obsessed with the shiny object. You know people like this. They see a hobby and they find it interesting and they get obsessed with that hobby. Obsessed to the point of exclusion of all other hobbies. No. The hobby may be interesting. It may be engaging. But if you took one carpentry class, don't go out and buy a whole set of carpenter's tools. Maybe take another carpentry class. Maybe hit up your friend who is a carpenter. Maybe read about carpentry. Take your time. Figure out if you actually like it, or if you just saw that shiny object. You had a great first date. It went well, you laughed. For some reason you cried, but it was the right time to cry. Don't ask me why you would cry on a first date. I don't know. Live your life. Go off. You had a good first date. Things seemed to be going well. Neither one of you shows any signs of not wanting to go onto a second date. Breathe. It will all be okay. Not only will it all be okay, even if it all goes to hell, it will all be okay. If the new hobby doesn't work out, or you just don't like it after you've gone to 2 classes, like you tried the one class you happen to really love joinery, and you didn't like the rest of carpentry, it turns out you don't like measuring things. Hey, you didn't sink $10,000 into a bunch of carpentry tools that are much harder to resell because it's hard to find carpenters. Look, the rules of dating will make you crazy. The general rule is just don't have object permanence. Don't be obsessed with the object. The two of you may end up in each other's lives. You may end up in each other's lives for a time. You may end up in each other's lives for a long time. Possibly forever. That option does sit on the table, but don't become obsessed with the option, that being the only option, right? Maybe you turn into friends. It's rare, but it does happen. Maybe you never see each other again. It's more likely. But it being more likely does not mean it's a bad thing. You try the hobby, maybe you never do carpentry again. But nothing in life is ever wasted. Remember that. Nothing in life is ever wasted. I'm saying these things out loud, and I said at the beginning, this is cheaper than therapy. Why am I saying these things out loud? Because I'm trying to echo them back to myself. This is like looking in the mirror in the morning and going, you are smart and you are loved. That's kind of what I'm doing here, but more cracked out. Look, I'm at the end of my 10-minute run. Hope you enjoyed this episode of 10 Minutes with Nick. To those of you who subscribe, I really appreciate you, as I said. And I hope you share the podcast if it's anything useful to you. If it's not useful to you, I appreciate you subscribing anyway. If you're a new listener and you didn't like anything that I said, leave a hateful comment. It's completely okay. We'll laugh. I'll laugh. It'll be fun. I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Have a great day.